Thank you for joining. Our guest today is Hannalee Pervan, the owner of One House Bakery Venetian. If you have never been there, get in the car and go to Beni. I don't care where you live. This is the best bakery you'll find, at least in Bay Area. People come from all over, from San Francisco, North Bay, East Bay, South Bay, just to come and try the pastry and the breads and the sandwiches they offer. Thank you for being here, Hannalee.
My pleasure.
The first question, we'll start from kind of the beginning. What did the winning of 2002 National Basketball Championship mean to you?
Way back when. Yeah, basketball essentially meant an avenue to get a college degree. I knew I couldn't afford school in the States. I'm originally from Canada, so I knew I wouldn't be able to afford to go to college unless I got a scholarship to play a sport. So I had always played soccer, but I was kind of falling out of love with that. And then I picked up basketball in as a junior in grade 11 and essentially put all my focus into that in hopes that I would be able to earn a scholarship.
You just started a junior and
Yeah.
came into national championship? Wow.
Yeah. I'm a very determined person.
Do you still dabble on the court a little bit?
I don't. My husband asked me to play sometimes, but I had 3 broken noses, 2 hip surgeries, 5 concussions. Yeah, I was like the player that like dove on the floor and sacrificed her body. So every team needs one of those because I didn't have this like extensive background of playing basketball my whole life. So I essentially became like the workhorse and the defender. And in doing so, that meant you sacrifice your body a lot of times. So I have absolutely no desire to play basketball anymore.
Right. It more impressive. My next question is become more interesting because you started junior. Did earning an MVP title for 3 years straight boost your ego?
Yeah, it definitely. I was never an arrogant player. I hated trash talking. Like I would rather get the best player on the team and just lock them down the whole game. Like that was like the best form of trash talk I could come up with. So I mean, it definitely made me feel good to know like, okay, I belong on the court, even though these girls have been playing since they were little kids. But I had a very singular focus, and it was to get a scholarship. So it's, just I got to do what I got to do. So get out of my way.
That's great. How did you squeeze a black belt in karate in the middle of all that?
Um, I started karate when I was really young. My brothers would constantly be fighting, so my mom and dad put us all into karate, and it turned out I was like super super flexible randomly. So me and my brothers would go around doing these like karate shows all around Ontario, and my thing was like the flexibility and the katas, and so yeah, I just loved it. So I started very young in karate actually.
Did all of these skills in basketball court, um, being competitive in karate, you transferable to where you are today, running the successful bakery?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's physically demanding, running a business. And when you're playing sports, you learn very quickly how to manage pain, how to pace yourself, when you need to push. The intensity of that is very similar to especially when I'm expediting at the bakery for like during lunch service or dinner service. Like it's a lot of like adrenaline and pushing, and so I think a lot of that actually it has the same kind of feeling when you're playing like a competitive sport.
Got it. Please describe what did this bumblebee pastry taste like that eventually turned into One House
Oh my
Bakery?
goodness. Yeah, so Bumblebee Pastries was So I went to university for entrepreneurship and small business management. So it's kind of like a weird major in the sense like if you're an entrepreneur, you should just go do it. But all my teachers were entrepreneurs, so they taught us a lot of the lessons that they learned. So one of my classes, a senior year, a teacher, we had to write like a comprehensive business plan. And then my brothers used to call me Bumblebee, so I that was their nickname for me. So I thought Bumblebee pastries, and then it like the teacher told me like I handed in my my business plan, and it was like 70 pages of like
Wow.
just because like I've been obsessing over this since I was a kid, like literally like 10 years old. Like I wanted to be a baker and own a bakery, so it's like I had all these ideas and images in my head, and I, gave it to the teacher, and he's like, Jesus. He's like, this is the first A I've ever given in this class. I was like,
Did,
yes.
do you still have that business plan?
I'm sure I have it somewhere tucked away somewhere.
Oh, I would love to
Uh,
see. I would love to have it displayed in the bakery. And that's how it all started. Big,
yeah. And then when
frame.
I had to rewrite a business plan for like the specific location when we chose the building in Benicia. And like our very first business plan had like 8 people, like 8 employees, and we need to gross like $1,200 a day, and now I think we're up to like 68 employees.
Wow.
So it's just like yeah, it's completely different.
You mentioned 10 years old. What It's very rare that a 10-year-old know it's a blessing, I think, and it's very rare that a 10-year-old young girl or young boy would know their calling, would realize what made it for you that you realized at such a young age that this is your dream, this is what you want to pursue.
Yeah, I think it was a lot like so my mom and my grandmother would bake for me all the time. Always fresh baked products all like through my whole life, and I always associated like baking with like somebody showing their love for me.
Mhm.
So I think like I wanted to give that back. Like I just wanted to express that love somehow, and being able to bake and to make people feel happy. Like that was, I don't know, that was just my goal from when I was a kid. I wanted to make people feel the way that my mom and my grandmother made me feel.
You sure succeeded in that. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Like Cordon Bleu, was it a challenging journey?
Yes. So I went to university first, and then I met my husband my senior year, and then I had already planned on going to culinary school. So he went back to LA, and I went to Ottawa, Canada. So that's where that's where the school was. And essentially, it was like an extensive program. So it was I think it was 5 days a week. You'd have morning demos and then afternoon practicals. So it was like literally the entire day. Uh, and then while I was going to school, I was working 2 jobs at 2 different bakeries to try to get experience from different kinds of bakeries. But yeah, it was super intense.
Did you realize being there, working maybe for these bakeries or watching some of the pastry chef or maybe instructors that, this is not what I want to do. This is not the product I would, I don't care for that. This is the different route I want to go. Did you have your own,
Um, I think
so to
I
speak?
think mainly it was I knew I didn't really want to be like a wedding cake decorator.
Okay.
I enjoy decorating cakes on a smaller level, but the like sitting down for 15 hours doing gum paste flowers, I knew I didn't want to do that. I knew I didn't want to work in a hotel, like a big banquet style hotel. I knew I didn't want, so it was just kind of like narrowing down like the avenue for baking because there's so many different things that you can do. So it was just like I needed to figure out like eventually what I wanted the, one house to be.
Do you have one memory there that perhaps made you cry?
At culinary school?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Um, oh, the it was a mousse cake that we're supposed to be making, a cassis cake, and Chef Hervé, he said that every year somebody forgets to put the gelatin, or somebody puts the gelatin in warm water and forgets to add it, because you have to bloom the gelatin, and if the water's too warm it dissipates in the water, like, but you think you've added it. And like I was like, he's like, every year one idiot does it. And yeah, I was like, there's no way it's gonna be me. I know, like, I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then yeah, of course I forgot the gelatin, and I pulled my mousse cake from the freezer, and it just like poured onto the table. And yeah, went home, called my mom crying, felt like a complete idiot, but it is what it is.
You grew from there.
Yeah.
One. Who were your mentors in the baking world?
Um, yeah, there's been quite a few. I've been lucky enough to have um, a lot of good teachers. Um, a chef Hervé at in culinary school. I ended up competing in Canada in pastry, and he was my partner teacher for that. Chef Octavio at Bouchon Bakery. He's been super kind with his knowledge. Chef Salazar at Portos Bakery in LA. Um, he's been still. I was just talking to him a few days ago about like the business side of how to grow, um, and Chef Ponsford out in Marin County. He like completely changed my way of whole grain baking. So
I,
yeah, been very lucky.
I love that you're name dropping so much. No, I'm just joking. These are the huge names and the restaurants and the chefs. Competition, was it your competitive side? Why did you enroll, or was it to advance your career, to get notoriety, so to speak?
I think I was so close to coming out of college, and like had that like basketball mentality still, like that competition like drive in me. And Chef Hervé came up to me and said, "Oh, like the teachers, the other chefs think that you would be a good candidate for this. Like, we think you should compete." And of course, I'm a very competitive person, so I was like, "All right, absolutely." So I had to compete within the school. So I had to beat the other students, and then from that point, I went to compete just in Ontario, in our province. And then I won the gold for that. And then we went to Prince Edward Island, and I competed against the top like apprentices from the rest of Canada. And then I won the gold for all of Canada.
How different it is in real life competition versus what you see on TV?
It was hard. It's I think having like the at one point I had like six or seven judges just like right around the table, just like watching like every single thing you're doing, and they're taking into account what are you putting in the trash. Like, they'll go and look through your trash to see if you've like thrown anything out that they should see. Like, so they're looking at your table cleanliness, like your if you have anything on your apron, if your buttons are done upright, if you have a piece of hair coming out of your hat. Like, they're just like meticulous, like scrutinizing you. So I don't know if people really get that sense on TV for like
Not
what
at
it
all.
feels like.
Not at all. I'm glad
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I cut myself at the end of the competition on one of those stupid plastic wrap things, and you get it, not technically points deducted, but you do if you cut yourself, because it like shows like you're like sloppy or whatever. So I had put a glove on, and I like put my hand behind my back as the chefs were coming like by to inspect everything, and my hand is like filling up with blood in my glove. I just like waited for like 15 minutes till they all finished their inspection, and I finally was able to get the bleeding to stop.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sure prepared you for what was coming, I guess.
Yes.
If somebody asks you, what is the signature bread or pastry that sets one house bakery aside, apart from other
Um,
bakeries?
I
What?
think it would probably be our sticky toffee pudding. That's definitely it's one of those recipes I just obsessed. Well, I've obsessed over all the recipes. But this one, it uses flour that we mill at the bakery. So we have a 40-inch stone that we mill on every day. And I was just absolutely obsessed with making whole grain products after working with Chef Ponsford. And I wanted to make whole grain products taste better than white flour. Like that was the goal. It wasn't to like make health food per se. There's just so many different types of wheat that add so much like distinctive flavor. Um, so like just absolutely obsessed over the sticky toffee pudding, and I finally figured it out. And like I had to add 10% rye flour, and like it absolutely tipped it over the edge. And most Americans don't really have a reference for sticky toffee pudding, so when they taste it, it's like they don't know what to think. But yeah, I would say that's definitely, if somebody was coming to the bakery, that's what I would recommend.
What the chef? Is that throughout the restaurant world, bakery world, baking world? Is that the all other employees refer to you in the bakery as a chef? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
okay? So it's
yeah.
hierarchy in a way.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a hierarchy. It's not as like rigid as like when I was at Bouchon Bakery. It was very like CDP, commis, like demi sous. Like it was very very structured. But I have sous chefs, I have CDPs, but it's just a bit more relaxed. It's just, who do you ask questions to, essentially, like working your way up the chain, like who has the authority to make decisions. And but yeah.
CDP, is it chef de pastry? Is
Chef de partie.
de partie? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Love the design of the bakery, the interior of it.
Thank you.
It's very strange. I read it somewhere, and I agree 100%. It reminds you of old, in a good old fashioned, in a good way, meet modern New York establishment. Who designed the baker? Who designed the actual? Who came up with the actual design and created my favorite thing, Secret Garden Oasis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and my mom and my dad came up with the design.
Wow.
Me and my mom would say something, and dad would be like, "Nope." And then he'd be like, "All right, let me think about it." So then he would kind of help us come up with like the practical application. My parents ran a contracting company in
Okay.
Canada their whole lives. So essentially, we just, whatever idea we had, we would pitch it to each other because they're partners in the bakery. So we would pitch the idea, and we'd be like, okay, like I always imagined the exposed brick wall. But that what we had there was these like crumbling cinder blocks. So I found this company that actually takes reclaimed bricks from buildings in Chicago that were crumbling and cuts off like a facade, like a 1-inch facade. So mom and I redid the entire brick wall to make it look like it was like rustic and like falling apart. And we did like all the plaster and
You did it
um,
yourself?
yeah, mom and I did it.
Incredible. I love that. That's my favorite part. This and the
Yeah,
lamps, those huge lamps. I
yeah.
don't know how high the ceiling is.
So
Um,
yeah, we did all of that. And I remember one night I had painted that wall again. I think it was like the fifth color, and I was just like sitting there, and like, because we did all the painting ourselves. And my dad came over, and he's like, I was just like sitting, like just rocking back and forth. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I hate the color."
um,
He's like, "This is the fifth color." I'm like, "Yeah, I need to change it. Like, I don't know what to tell you." But yeah, essentially every design detail my mom and I came up with. The boards right when you walk into the bakery, the wooden wall. That was a fence that was originally with the building when we
Oh,
bought it. That was the only thing in the backyard. It was like a mud pit and that fence. So we saved the wood and put it up on the wall. And then on that wall, all those mirrors are the mirrors from my childhood home. So
wow.
yeah, mom brought them all from Canada. She put them
Oh,
up there. And then upstairs in the mezzanine on the wall, when you go up, all the art, all that artwork is actually the artwork from my brother's t-shirts. He passed away 10 years ago. So that's all of his artwork up on the wall. So it's definitely like a very personal space.
it feels like that. It truly feels, I'm not saying because we're on a podcast, it truly feels like that. And I cannot, if I'll be ambassador, I mean, I'm a foodie and I go very, at least once a week, try. It just feels like that. And everybody's so incredibly wonderful and nice. Oh,
Good.
no wonder. I'm not surprised by the success. It's all, in addition to wonderful pastries and bread, it's all a combination of many, many factors.
Thank
Very
you.
inviting space. How do you feel on opening day?
Opening day. Oh, geez. I was so scared and I don't think I'll ever forget it. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was, there's so many things that you don't know until you're like, Jesus, I don't like you think like, okay, you open, you'll accept, credit cards, and then, well, how do you accept credit cards, and where do you buy the paper, and I need bags, I need to stamp bags, I need to buy a stamp, I need, like, it just like snowballs into this like absolutely like 100% overwhelming, just it was, yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. um yeah, there was a line down the street past the church. It's the first time, like, all these recipes are like little parts of my brain and my heart and my love that are going out to the public, and like you have to be ready to be judged. Like, people are going to start writing Yelp reviews, people are going to start criticizing, people are, they're going to start, eating the food, which is the goal, but it was terrifying.
Would you do anything differently? Did you learn anything from this opening month, let's say?
Oh, geez. Yeah, so we opened a month before before Thanksgiving.
Mm.
So I just, yeah, we were waiting and waiting and waiting for PG&E to turn our power on. So we were ready at the bakery. We were just waiting and waiting, and they finally did it in October. And we had to do it, but we were going into the busiest time of the year. So maybe if we were to do it again, I would probably not open that close to a major holiday.
Because you were
Because
so swamped and
yeah, there's
with
just so
or
many, like, just so many things you don't know. And like it was so busy so quickly, which is amazing, but it was definitely, you had to figure out, there's weeks that like I would go home maybe once or twice. I would just be sleeping there. Like, it's just a constant, 22, 23 hours a day you're working. So it's just, yeah, I probably would have hired more people to start with. Yeah.
I know you're one of the few bakeries who grind. We have a stone mill that
Yeah.
you have grinding your own flour. Why were you on the floor crying when you were getting a permit to get a granite stone mill?
Well, the little did I know, the Solano County had never approved a mill before. So we had to, the health department said no first. They said no, absolutely not. My entire business plan was like surrounding this beautiful mill and the fresh milled flour and the health benefits and all this stuff. And it's like one of the things you don't think about. And then like I go to the health department to get it approved, and they say no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? Like, so this our health inspector worked with us, thank God. She worked with us, but we had to get every single piece of material that was used in the mill. We had to get each piece certified by itself.
Mm.
So like the rubber gasket, the piece of metal that covered the chute, the hopper, the like every like the screw that went into the engine or the motor. So it's like it just took so long to get it happening. So when it finally came through, it was just like, like, is this for real?
Well, makes a
Yeah,
huge difference,
yeah,
I can imagine, in baking process.
yeah.
What inspires you?
Um, I think making people happy inspires me. Just like trying to anticipate what will make somebody happy. Like I'm constantly trying to like think of like put yourself in our customers' shoes and like what would make them the happiest. Like what would make them come in and think like, you know, like let all of their all of their worries and crap go for a couple hours and just like what would it be. So I'm constantly trying to think of ways to make their lives better.
Do you constantly working on different new recipes that you're developing, perhaps?
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah. I do most of my testing at night now when my daughter's sleeping. So I'll write the recipe, I'll send it to one of my sous chefs. They'll pack it up for me and send it home with my parents, and then I'll test it that night, write new recipe, get them to, it's a back and forth process for months. But it's, yeah, I have to, I have a lot of stuff in my brain that I need to get out, a lot of creativity. So it has to go somewhere.
incredible. Walk me through a tough time. I know you have when you had COVID and you lost taste. Then it
Yeah,
came back. It was not the same. It was off.
yeah.
How did you navigate that?
It's still happening, unfortunately. It's still never come back fully. Um, yeah, when I got COVID, my taste was completely gone. I think if maybe 4 or 5 months, I forget. It's been like 6 years now. But
Oh,
um, yeah, it completely went away, which was terrifying. But they were saying it was happening. It was a side effect of COVID. So I thought, okay, like I'm just going to be like everybody else, and it's going to come back. And then when it did come back, um, it came back normal for just a little while, and then it started just like going haywire. So it's like I would be eating an apple and it would taste like pecans, or like cinnamon would smell like gasoline, and like uh, things would just smell like burning for weeks and weeks. It was just it's a maddening experience. Um, so it's still happening, unfortunately. I still can't eat onions or garlic, melon. I can't eat bananas. They taste like rotting food
mm.
still. Even the smell of them, it just absolutely torments me. Coffee is terrible. Um, so it's like I tried to do therapy for it. It's like as like EMDR or something like that. It's like to change the association that you have with the food in hopes that it will help your brain start, dealing with the trauma essentially. Um, I tried that, it didn't work. I did smell therapy. Yeah, it is what it is. The doctors say that it will return or it won't, but there's nothing really I can do.
Yeah. Have you tried like acupuncture, Chinese?
No, I've never tried acupuncture. No. Yeah, it's yeah, it's I I think it's like when I try new things to get it back and then it doesn't come back, and then it's just like it just like absolutely destroys me again. So I've got to a point where like it is what it is. Like I live with it. I'm still creating new recipes. Like I make my recipes based off of how I remember them tasting. That's how I cook and I bake now.
And
And then
you have
yeah,
mom to
exactly.
full
Yeah.
cook.
Yeah, my mom's my closest to my what my palate was. And then I have my chefs at work. So it definitely is like it was hard like on my ego in the beginning because like I want to be, the head chef. I want to be able to, like what I was doing. Could pick out like minute details of things and in any recipe or like the smallest amount of burning or like anything I could figure it out. But it got to the point where I couldn't even tell if something was strawberry or raspberry anymore. Like it was just sour. Like
Very interesting.
it's
Is
just it was embarrassing. It was incredibly embarrassing. But
it something that some other people went through that you heard other?
I've never. I was on a panel with three other chefs that had parosmia or lost their taste, and none of them are cooking anymore. Just because they said it's too hard to be around food all day, which is it is it's torture some days.
Is it because
Um,
maybe you have such a keen sense of smell, like musicians
yeah,
have an ear, right? Because okay,
yeah. Like if you took like a piece of onion and dropped it in a gallon of water, like one little piece, and took it out, like I would be able to taste it. Like
um,
it's so sensitive to these flavors now, but the flavor itself is so rancid. It's just like it's unbearable. But like I need to be able to cook still, so it's like I have to just decide today is a day that I need to go teach my sous chef how to make bolognese sauce, and it's going to be torture, but it is what it is. So that's that. So I go in and I taste, the bolognese, and it tastes terrible, but like I know it's like how it's supposed to taste, like the level of terrible. It's just such a hard thing to explain to somebody. Um, it's miserable. Um, but it is what it is, and like I'm healthy otherwise, and my lungs are good and my heart is good. So it's like yeah, this happened, and it's like the worst thing I could have imagined for a chef. But
I hope and pray it's temporary because
yeah,
there's no way around.
yeah, that's it took me a while. I remember speaking to my mom, like realizing like yes, like it took my ability to be happy, but it didn't take away my ability to make other people happy. So like I can still create and I can still make new recipes and I can still put my focus into the business and come up with good ideas, but it just took away my ability to enjoy food, which, you know, I literally had no idea how to comfort myself without food. Like I had no idea. So I'm still working on it.
I can relate to that. I'm with you.
Yeah, I just
Food is love. Love is food.
yeah, that's the good times food, bad times food. Like so it's like what do you want to do tonight? Go out to a restaurant? Oh no, I don't want to because you know that's my life was food, and then suddenly it's taken, and it's just I can't give up. I have a bakery to run. I have employees, my parents' life savings. Like it's you can't just stop. Like so,
I
you
would
keep
like
going.
I would like to use borrowed, not taken. So
Yeah,
for it to
yeah. It's
yeah,
been somebody's having a good time with this. I trained that palate for
long time.
25 years.
And then yes, to incredible name Juniper that I read about.
Yeah.
So beautiful. It's so unusual, I think. And I read what it means actually because I was curious.
Yeah.
Did it mean is there a reason you chose, I mean, juniper berries, or can I
Yeah,
eat
it's
that?
so we're part native Ojibwa from Canada. So her name is Juniper Wolfie.
Okay.
So we're part of the wolf clan, like that's our totem animal for our tribe. So Juniper is a strong name in Ojibwa, but we also Juniper was the name of one of the characters in the book I've just been obsessed with my whole life. So she was like one of the badass characters in that book. So it was definitely part of it why I chose it. So I gotta put my phone on the charger.
What book was that?
It's called Dies the Fire.
Dies of Fire. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a science fiction nerd.
That's wonderful. That's a beautiful name. So thank you for that's very interesting. Any advice you would give to a young adult who is dreaming about opening the bakery?
Get ready to work hard. It's going to be hard, um, and it's going to be hard. You got to just keep going. You know, if it were easy, then you know they say, "Oh, everybody would do it." But uh, for me, I would say you have to have passion, but I mean, you can't force that, you know. So it's either you have passion or you don't for something. I don't think it's, something that develops. Like I knew this is what I wanted to do and this was it. So it's like there's no plan B. Like there's no backup, there's no plan B, which is a terrifying and scary thing to say to a young person. Like don't have a plan B. But I never did. Like this is it. This was going to work, and you know, come hell or high water, this bakery was gonna work. It's like I knew we could do it. I knew we could do it. I knew the recipes were good. I knew nobody was gonna work harder than me. I knew we had a good location. It just was a matter of working hard.
You have such a strong belief and confidence. And I hear I know it's a hard work business. Did you have a weak moment with you want to give up? You want to close down and just raise juniper and not do that?
Yeah. I mean, oh, of course. I mean, I sound confident, but there's always moments of terror. When COVID hit and my parents were at the bakery, like you're hearing like all this stuff about like, people who are older, it's going to kill them. Like, so I like, okay, no, like we're closing the bakery down. Like, you guys are not being, you know, uh, in the middle of COVID. Cause I was like, okay, I'll work. And they're like, you're not working if we're not working. Like, so I think that was the first time I was like, okay, like, what are we going to do? Are we realistically going to close? Or are we going to keep going? I mean, my dad jokes that every time we have like a slow like week, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Like, it's the end of the world. We're going to go out of business. He's like, okay, calm down, take a breath. So yeah, I mean, I would say I worry about closing or once a week. More than once a week, I get scared that I'm going to lose it. And like, I love my life. I love it so much. And I get so scared that it's going to go away. I think that's where the fear and the drive come from now, is just to keep it going. Cause I busted my ass to get here, and I want this life.
What is your vision for One House Bakery?
Um, so people keep asking me, "Oh, are you going to open another location?" And like I always felt like it was like a deficit within me, that I didn't have this like desire to like build multiple locations. Like it was something wrong with like my entrepreneurial spirit or something. But like I so much of what One House is the building and the garden and the people, and it's like to try to duplicate that, just just manufacture that in another location. I don't know how feasible it would be. Like if maybe if you found the perfect building and the perfect time. Um, but I want us to be able to have control over the food, like to the consistency of the food, the quality of the food. I want our people to be paid well. I want to have time to be able to be a mom and to, be around to see those important moments. So it's just, I just want One House to be like where you go in the community, like that, oh, that's our bakery. Like I want kids to grow up and be like, oh, in my hometown, I had the best bakery. Like it will never compare. Like to me, that means more than, oh, okay, I have 6 locations and, 3 states. Like I really just have no desire for that.
Would you want your daughter to follow in your footsteps?
Oh, I don't care what she does. My parents always said it, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Just be the best you can be. Like
Mhm.
I just want her to have passion and drive for something. I don't really care what she wants to do. Um, it really makes no difference to me if she wants to be a doctor or, a painter or whatever, drywaller, I don't care. Like if as long as she it's puts her energy and her drive and her passion into it.
Any person, living or not, would you like to share a sticky toffee pudding with right now?
Definitely my brother. Uh, he passed away 10 years ago. It's a random freak accident, a wasp sting in the back of his neck, and he died. Um, yeah, I would love for him to see what I've done and to meet my daughter and just yeah, just to know he's proud of me like that. It's just a weird feeling because like the goal was always to open up a bakery in Canada. Like that I was going to go back to Canada, or I was going to stay in Canada and my husband was going to immigrate there, and we were going to live in Toronto, and that was always the goal. It was never to move to California. And then my brother died at my parents' like forever house. So essentially, like, they tried for a couple years to get out of that rut, but it just, the keeps replaying and replaying and replaying. So the idea was, okay, let's go start somewhere fresh, like to have new memories and new happy moments and things that don't make us think of PJ dying all the time. So then we went to Vancouver, and then we essentially just started driving till we found what Benicia and what the perfect building and the perfect town. Um, so it's like it's a weird feeling to know that this wonderful life that I have and exists only exists because my brother died. So it's a super, I don't know, yeah, it's a super challenging thing to process sometimes. Um, so yeah, I would like for him just to see what happened, what I
And it
did.
seems, it seems like it does from mezzanine level,
Yeah.
looking over the bakery and all of you with all the artwork from
Yeah.
t-shirts. What makes you happy? How do I unwind other than baking? How do you unwind after a long day?
Yeah, that's funny. I just started gardening 6 weeks ago. I just, I never did anything other than baking or cooking. Like, and I've had prosomia for 6 years, and it's taken me this long to find something that made me happy other than going out to restaurants or, writing recipes or baking, or it's like my mom like just finally like got me interested, and we been going to nurseries and yeah, and then I became obsessed with it, and I wanted to garden every weekend because it was like something that was finally like, making me happy again. Um, but yeah, I think some gardening and a margarita would be good.
That's great. What is a favorite bread or pastry that mom made?
Oh, that mom made. Um, yeah, mom made us bread a lot growing up. She would have like a Kaiser roll, kind of like a soft bread, that was always on the table, like big chunks of butter. Um, yeah, I remember always having fresh bread. So,
Finish the sentence. Working with mom is like.
working with your best friend.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's a wonderful, wonderful person. Um, yeah, she really is my best friend. Uh, it's it's so comforting. Like, like, yeah, and it's like going through all this stuff with parosmia, and essentially just crying my way through 2 years of working in a kitchen is and having mom there. It's just like I don't think I could have done it had she not been there. Um, and obviously having my dad there, and he's he's pops, and he's strong, and he's steady, and it's just, yeah, it's just, it couldn't have happened if the three of us didn't do it. Like, I couldn't have done it by myself, and they couldn't have done it by themselves. So it's just, yeah, it's just a perfect confluence of skills.
Seems like a true blessing.
Yeah, it is definitely.
What are you most proud of?
Not giving up, not quitting after my taste was gone. Um, there was some very, very dark times. Uh, yeah, it was rough, and just admitting that I needed help. I was stuck in depression. I started taking Prozac. I started talking to a therapist. I decided I was going to live, and I was not going to give up, and this was not going to define me. That I was more than just my taste buds. Um, and that took years to get to that point. Um, all the while running a business and having to be surrounded by the food that was torturing me, and being a boss to 65 people, and trying to be a good wife and a good daughter. And so I'm most proud of that I didn't give up.
You have
So
a wonderful staff. You have a wonderful people working for you, from
yeah.
baristas and kitchen, and see people making a dough through the window. My favorite part when I pass by. Way to the secret garden oasis.
Yeah.
What is your leadership philosophy? What? How do you make it feels like truly one house when you combine the front of the house and back of the house? It's, I love the
Yeah.
name. What What's your take on the leadership? And
Yeah, it was, I think in the very beginning, that's what I struggled with the most. I had a very hard time understanding why people didn't work as hard as me. Like, why aren't you, working hard? Why aren't you trying your best at every single moment of, like, it was just, like, I wanted this dream so badly that I was just projecting like my philosophy and my work ethic onto people. And that was proving to not be a good philosophy. People were burning out, they were getting angry, it wasn't a positive work environment. And I realized very quickly that you need to find what motivates everybody, like individually. Like, some people, you can never raise your voice to them. Some people will only respond if you raise your voice to them. Some people want you to know everything about their family. Some people don't want you to ask them a single question for 2 years. Just give them the money, and screw off. Like, every single person is so unique and different, and every single person has something that motivates them. So it's a matter of actually treating your employees like humans and finding, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they messed that up because, they broke up with their girlfriend, or like it's not just like, oh, you're going to be written up because you messed this up. It's like, well, let's talk about what happened. Why did this happen? What led you to this? Like it's trying to actually treat them the way I wish I had been treated a lot of times, just and in the beginning, obviously before I had Juniper, it was lead by example. Like nobody was at the bakery longer than me. Nobody worked harder than me. Nobody, I wouldn't ask them to do anything I wasn't willing to do myself or wasn't doing myself, which is definitely a hard part of having Juniper and being home now. It's like, I feel like, oh my God, are they going to lose respect for me? Like I'm not at the bakery working. So like, just, do they think I'm just like sitting at home doing nothing? So yeah, it's definitely an adjustment.
Do you have any regrets?
Oh, any regrets? Uh, not for the bakery. No, maybe just regret not spending more time with my brother. But I don't think for the bakery. I don't have many regrets because literally, like every bad thing that's happened has taught us something. And whether it was, an absolutely terrible experience to go through, like that sucks for sure, but it ended up teaching us something. Um, but yeah, I don't have any regrets for the business.
You seem like very determined and strong, and any person, any woman, any person in this tough business, there are moments of weakness. We're real people, and do you let yourself be weak? And who would see you weak moments?
Yeah, my parents and my husband for sure. Um, I try to be strong a lot of times for my staff and to not let them see me when I'm struggling too much. But I mean, I literally I cried my way through 2 years of parosmia. I would be wearing a nose plug. I have a mask on. And the tears would just be flowing I couldn't stop crying. I was so sad that I couldn't taste. And so, I mean, my employees saw me crying for 2 years essentially. Like, but I was doing my job and I was doing it so we had a place to be and to work and to be proud of. So it's like I I tell my staff, if you need to cry, that's fine. Like there's no problem. Like just take a second, go gather yourself. Like nobody's going to judge you. Like so my employees have all seen me at my lowest part. I mean, if they've been here long enough. Um but to be truly truly weak and vulnerable probably just be my parents and my husband.
The last question I ask all of my guests: would you find extraordinary in every day?
I think now my daughter, it's just,
Hmm.
it's so wonderful. Like I have been so obsessed over opening a bakery since I was, 10 years old. I never envisioned having children. Like it just was never something that was in the forefront of my mind. Um, and I knew from the very beginning my husband wanted kids and it's something we needed to talk about. And like I didn't rule it out. It was just something that wasn't really what I was thinking about. And it's just it's just so much better than I could have ever have hoped for or imagined or envisioned. It's just like, to like have something that would be like, oh, I don't have to go to the bakery today. Like, let's just, play in the garden and with the hose. And it's just like, and like for my entire life, I've been obsessed over this bakery. And like, this has been my one, calling in life. And now I'm like questioning, like, oh, do I have to go today? I'll do tomorrow. And it's just like, I never thought I would ever have anything in my life that would pull me away like she is. But like just seeing her is it's just incredible. It's just every day is different. It's amazing.
Hannalee, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation and for sharing your journey.
My pleasure.